Greetings. Some of you are used to the artifacts from ancient Egypt or Kemet. So you might have noticed the ears. This is indeed Hathor or Heru. What I like about this one is that it is not from the late period. So when we look at the shape of the nose and the shape of the lips, we have an indication that this was most likely a depiction inspired by people of black African descent. But anyway, there are a few artifacts. This is definitely a libation object, just like there was one in the Louvre Museum in black color, but that one in the Louvre Museum is actually from the late period. Hathor, Lady of Gebelein. The cult of Hathor, the patron deity of the town of Gebelein, is documented starting from the Middle Kingdom. The temple of the goddess stood on the southern hill. It was excavated by the Italian mission in 1911. Although the building had already been demolished in pharaonic times, many decorated wall blocks came to light. They belonged to a chapel dedicated to Hathor by Mentuhotep II, circa 2000 BC, 1958 BC. That's just 4,000 years old, or 4,900 years old. That's okay. Anyway, the first pharaoh of the Middle Kingdom, a foundation deposit inscribed for Thutmose III, circa 1400 BC, just 3,400 years old. That's all. Is evidence that the temple was expanded under this pharaoh in the 21st dynasty under the high priest of Amu, Menkapereh. That's Menkaperah, but it's okay. The hill was protected with massive brick ramparts, which are still visible. Here were recovered bricks stamped with the names of Menkaperah and his wife Aset Kheb. 3 words here. The cult of Hathor. Now, for the record, Aset, that's Isis. And it's very funny, once again, they know how the proper pronunciation was, most likely. But they usually go for the Greek pronunciations, but that's fine. The cult of Hathor lived until Greek-Roman times when the town was called Pathiris, the Greek form of Per Hathor, house of Hathor. I done told you before that per means house. But anyway, here we have fragments of sphinxes found in the era of the Hathor sanctuary between 1900 and 1700 BC. Here we have fragments of a stele with funerary offering formula to Hathor and Anubis or Anpu, and with 2 facing male figures. Limestone, circa 1700 to 1500 BC. 3,500 years old. This here is the upper part of a male statue made of granodiorite from the Middle Kingdom, 13th dynasty, between 1700 and 1600 BC. And he says this male bust is a very representative example of 13th dynasty elite sculpture. Granodiorite is the most commonly used stone for statues of officials in this period. The large almond-shaped eyes, the eyebrows, modeled without makeup lines, the prominent cheekbones and chin, and the pouting mouth are all typical features of the style of the late Middle Kingdom. These are obviously not realistic portraits, since the facial features of the statues of dignitaries were patterned after those of the statues of the reigning king. They have so many artifacts that just by the start of the artifacts, they can tell, well, this is most likely from that period. Just like we might see some pictures or some video footage of people dressed a particular way, and we can tell, okay, it's more or less the 80s, more or less the 90s, and so on. The abundance of records allows the specialists or the historians or archaeologists to tell which periods, or most likely some of their artifacts, whenever they don't have a particular name, as it is the case for this statue here. Here it says, relief fragment with falcon-headed god from the chapel of Mentuhotep II in the Hathor sanctuary. And it says that it's made of limestone, 11th dynasty, around 1980 A.C. I don't know what A.C. means. I'll have to look it up. Now here we are told, oh, here we have someone's face here. I've read that name from an artifact in the Louvre Museum, so maybe some of you will remember what it says, but this is a full name here. Relief and inscribed column fragments from the chapel of Mentuhotep II in the Hathor sanctuary, around 1980 A.C. And here it says, relief fragments with heads of male and royal figures from the chapel of Mentuhotep II in the Hathor sanctuary, around 1980 A.C. You have a word that many of us use many times. We have a triliteral with the two phonetic complements. This is a votive basin with Hathor heads, restored from 7 fragments dedicated by a mistress of the house by the name of Tamit. New Kingdom, reign of Thutmose III, around 1400 BC. Gebelein area of the Temple of Hathor.